Hi, good evening, guys. I hope you are all doing well. So, in this video today, I am going to discuss RVNL because I think a lot of you guys are not sure about what's happening in RVNL, and I will also discuss the rest of the stocks today, which which were discussed in the announcement. Okay. And I will also discuss a couple of some new additions which I did on my portfolio and whatever I did. So let's start with RVNL. Okay. So see, RVNL, what's happening right now is although the 2 days of selling are a little higher, but in my opinion is just making the O'Neill base. ठीक है? सो ओनिल बेस माने ये जो कप होता है ना आपने एक कप एंड हैंडल जो पैटर्न देखा है वो कप कंप्लीट हुआ कल परसों एंड इफ़ यू रिमेंबर मैंने ग्रुप पे ये डायरेक्टली ये भी बोला था कल या आई थिंक उसके आगे का दिन प्रॉब्ली कल कि देखो ये रेजिस्टेंस ओनिल ओनिल पिवट पे रेजिस्टेंस लेके वो वापस आ रहा है अभी वो कप बन रहा है नाउ द थिंग इज सो सो ये वो कब हो सकता है सेकेंड वे टू थिंक अबाउट इट इज that it is after this sort of breakout from this area which is about 128ish on this day 2 days ago 3 days ago the breakout हुआ Thursday को वो लेवल को अभी बस रीटेस्ट कर रहा है बट द ओनली थिंग इज लाइक अगेन वॉल्यूम सो वॉल्यूम ये 2 दिन वाले वॉल्यूम में ज़्यादा कम वॉल्यूम होने से इट वुड हैव बीन रियली ग्रेट बट थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा है बट आई स्टिल बिलीव that this is a fair retest and another way to look at it is अच्छा then the question comes कि ठीक है मान लिया ये कब बना and then right now एक वो आएगा हैंडल बनेगा राइट तो अभी ये हैंडल का स्ट्रक्चर कैसा बनेगा वो अभी तक कंप्लीट नहीं है वो बिकॉज वी डोंट नो लाइक समटाइम्स हैंडल्स कैन कम बिकम लाइक दिस तो ये अपर पिवट हो जाएगा ये लोअर पिवट हो जाएगा समटाइम्स इट कैन बी लाइक दिस sometimes can be like that also so right now that shape is not clear at all okay but then the question is like okay Prakash how far below could you think do you think the handle can be so generally handle should be not beyond 50% of the cup itself ठीक है ये all of these concepts are really necessary if you want to like develop a view of the how things move because this is how the handle development happens now max कितना तक जा सकता है यहाँ तक जा सकता है because that would be sort of the retest of the slanting trend line breakout as well so then like one if you are indeed a positional guy who thinks like who believes in the grand railway plan and which I actually believe in that so a positional kind of trade then let's say if you didn't chase this I hope nobody chased it on this day but if you chased got in here or here I think a stop loss of 14% still could be given now of course then the 14% will also then depend upon कितना आपका size है right so 10% stop loss on 10% PF would be like 1% of your portfolio okay so all those things you should be able to make that calculation by now right so I think even till this day is fine okay I know many of you sort of got in this day probably let's say even if you caught it in the top a stop loss of 9.6 10% I think would still be fine okay now I today I got in on RVNL at the last moment like very last moment when I saw this okay so I saw this breaking down दिस वॉज ए नाइस डेली इंट्राडे में ये पिवट बना के रखा था और ये हुआ एंड देन you see this is the line which is that line which I had drawn okay sort of this line now this is not entirely straight but you can see my point that intraday today the low actually came very near to this and returned now you see what happened after this big fall came then there was a small candle then this sort of reversal kind of this one happened this gave me more क्या बोलते हैं उसको I forgot the word, but it gave me more belief that, like, this was sort of a shakeout kind of an intraday के अंदर भी intraday kind of a shakeout. And after that, actually the last 20 minutes were really good, and my entry was 120.9. Okay, so I entered somewhere here, and see now. I have a small position because, again, this is a risky sort of a thing. Tomorrow, day after, 3-4 दिन और ये खिसक सकता है, right? So risky था, तो just 6% of my portfolio is here. But if it goes back, then it will be a really nice entry for me. Now, if had I sized it big, my SL would have been the low of today. But since I have sized it small, I am actually putting a deeper stop loss here. Okay, so that was RVNL again. What I want to tell you is that I think it's a very valid price action. This is a cup, and handle formation will now go on. Now, how long that handle will take, we don't know, but the next position will be on the start of the momentum out from that handle. Okay, moving on to NRR bearing. So what I did today, I sold 50% of my portfolio. Now you see, this is trade management one-on-one. Okay, I have to make sure that my emotional balance is intact in this run, because any sort of derailment of my portfolio will not be because right now I am really high, right, on the recent bull run. My portfolio is up almost about 40%, right? So now I want to keep this momentum and I want to build on that, right? So now so this guy, I entered here, and it's already like 20% on my 3 buys. So today's volume was little high, but again price movements not so good, not so great. So on intraday time frame, what happened was, when I was looking at this, at that time my channel looked a little different, so this channel, my channel looked a little different. It looked like this. Okay, somewhere like this. So my channel was also, I think, like this. So this was already a scary thing, but it went up. But when it was somewhere here, no, I somehow got a feeling that this flag and pole in 30 minutes is going to break down. Okay, so then I thought, like, okay, so then what you do, because I'm not sure, right? I cannot assign a higher probability of the breakdown than of not breakdown, right? So probability, in my opinion, is like 50-50. Like, breakdown ho bhi sakta hai, nahi ho sakta hai. Now this is what happens, right? So when at that time, what you do is, you ask yourself, am I okay seeing this guy come here and I didn't book any profit? My answer is no, I will not be okay, right? So then what I do, I sell 50% and keep 50%, because after selling 50%, if the guys come here, I will be happy. Why? Because I sold 50%, right? If this guy goes there, then I will still be happy, because hey, I still have 50% to catch that next 10-20% move, right? And my so this was about a 14% of the portfolio entry, so half, so 7% is still there, right? So now I can actually easily trail this guy higher with almost no emotional damage, right? You see, so because again, I'm reiterating the fact why emotional damage is so important for you to, like, shield yourself from, because emotionally, if you're not at the best place, trading will get screwed. Okay, all right, so that's what I did with NRR bearings. Next up, okay, so these were the few stocks I discussed today through the announcement. So Mazda, what's happening in Mazda? So Mazda was a very good pivot here. Okay, so whenever you spot these kind of pivots, no, see, one thing is very clear to you by now. If you are in my group from last 1 month, 15 days, one thing is very clear, that I stress very importantly, I stress about the right entry in the bull market, right? So mota on the day of the breakout, or that is another way to say that, on the day of the start of the momentum, and also, if possible, very close to the pivot, right? So Mazda today broke out, gapped up, but it again came back, and if you had a GTT here somewhere, you would have gotten in. Okay, again, other kind of decisions you make while trading this kind of stocks, you will have to be vigilant. do your own work. It's a 5% stock and all of that. Okay, but from here you see that like this no volumes, which means no selling at all. Even a little bit of volume, you see, this too little bit of volume in here, it was like non-existent because of these two candle. But when you see closely, see how the volumes came 2 days in a row, right? So this was the stock. HEG was another stock. Again, it's, although it a little bit of squatted, but it's actually still a good breakout. Okay, volume came in clearly. Bulls want to take it higher. Itna pata hai mere ko, right? So now it's still very near to the pivot. It's still a good entry in my opinion. Okay. Again, you can see that what I tell you about this is also this is like small cup, right? Again, it's not a CNH because कप एंड हैंडल्स के लिए एटलीस्ट थ्री या 5 वीक से ज़्यादा बेस होना पड़ता है. बट अगेन एज वी नो दैट मार्केट्स आर फ्रैक्टल, सो ये अभी वी कैन इमेजिन ए कप बन गया एंड देन प्रॉबेबली couple of days of handle making price action should be very normal price action. Okay, like for example I can show you to some other, like for example Tanla platforms में देखिए, once this breakout happened, you know, this day it squatted a little bit, after that a little sort of handle or sideways action, and then again the actual move came, right? The another example also would be tips industries. Similarly, like after like a breakout, I mean the thing is, like what I'm trying to say is couple of days of sideways movement after burst is okay, right? The third one, which is a very good stock, I mean this is something which I really love. Okay, and I also this was updated before the breakout came, and this breakout was a really good breakout. Okay, especially if you are a positional trader. So now you can imagine ये अभी इसको अगर आप weekly में देखिए, you see this is a very good base, and the entry is a confirmed reversal from the base of the base, right? So agar aap, if you think that 462 is the next place where I think it will stop. Okay, until then very smooth action can be possible. Okay, again these are all ifs and buts. Please try to think about market in probabilistic terms. Okay, great breakout. Now Igarashi, I could see so much enthusiasm in my free group and somewhere else as well of this breakout. But again, you see, once you have once you look at lots of setup, you know why this setup was sort of not ready. Okay, and I think some sort of right shoulder agar aega, so then this will be ready in my opinion. So something to keep in your watch list. Now KECL is another this one. So we got an entry here, if you guys remember, and now it's just sort of one way to see that is like it's a retest of the breakout somewhere here. So this is a retest of that breakout. Other way to see that is also that there is small ACR forming here, one touch, two touch, this is the third touch, and it's going up. So right now we still do not have a clear indication that the volumes will come and take it forward, but that's the thing you need to give away. If you have a confirmation, you will have a higher stop loss. Without confirmation, you'll have a smaller stop loss, but it will be risky, you know. So there are different kinds of risk rewards involved here, but again I am biased towards this. Okay, now there are some things which I cannot describe why I am biased. It's just that how I feel about the setup. Now the last one which I discussed today is Vishnu Chemicals. You see Vishnu Chemicals is ready. Okay, so one could say this a small base as a double bottom. This bottom 1, bottom 2, bottom 2 के बाद neckline से ये वापस आ गया to sort of, you know, build another one, another contraction. And if you then look at it, you can also say that this is like a sort of a cup and handle. The cup itself has a double bottom inside it. I mean, these are just names we have become accustomed ourselves, but this is a good base in my opinion. And again, highly biased that a breakout might come tomorrow. All right. What else? So another one is we have start of momentum in Ambani stocks. So एक के बाद एक ACC. So ACC is one of the best breakouts in this one because it has also a tailwind from another sector, that is Siemens, right? And Siemens, from a very cursory look today, looks like it's sort of the sideways movement is finished, and it's sort of breaking out. So today, any entry today above like 1860 would have been a great entry here. So positionally, the entry can still be made tomorrow if you get a price which is closer to the close price right now. Okay, Adani Enterprise might start to move. Again, if you want to catch this, because sometimes Adani Enterprise stock moves are violent, like that 5 to 10% move comes in within very small time, because the float is already cornered here. Okay, so in very less time, these kind of moves can come. Now these the decision that if you want to take an entry in here is entirely yours, but what I will teach you is how you can catch it if you want to. So the only way to catch that would be to just put a GTT above that pivot, which in this case would be 25, 26 or so. All right, and you can also see the Tadani Ambani, this one. What is this? This is the makeshift indices for us, and it also gave a huge bullish move today, which means that hey, the group as a whole is sort of making the move. Adani Green was the most bullish of them all, and which also moved early, as pointed out by one of our group members. Adani Ports also, in my opinion, has started to move, and this move would be more pronounced and clear today. Okay, so again, these are just the pivots. Another way to draw this pivot would be to just use the tops like this. So you will have one touch, two touch, three touch, and today in this case was a breakout. Okay, if you see the monstrosity, and you can also see that it actually touched, and the Bollinger Band will now sort of be pierced on the upside. Okay, Adani Power also made a move. Trans moved quite well today. This is like not exactly a VCB, but you can see what I mean. Like this, the corrections were getting lower and lower. This correction was minus 33, sort of minus 18, minus 12, minus 11, and the last correction was like very less. Okay, so this is basically how stock reversal happens. Okay, I will also show you an intraday trade I took based on this one. Okay, again, you can check out all the Ambani stocks by yourself. Now the similar situation happened in Phoenix Limited, which was a very nice intraday move I took. See, these are time tested, you know, structures which you get in the market. You see, like minus 2%, minus 1.5, minus 1.2, 0.5, 0.4, and then there was a breakout, right? So this is how things move, things reverses, things base, and all of these things will only slowly be clear once you go through a lot and lot of charts. Okay, so again, a little bit of a longer video, but I thought it was a action packed day and I had to unpack it all here. So yeah, I'll see you soon, guys.